Hey everyone, I'm back, and today I want to tier rank every single book that I read in 2023. Tier ranking is actually something that I discovered like a year or two ago, and ever since then I have been obsessed with tier ranking. So without further ado, let's get started. Okay, so I have 6 tiers. The very top of my list is Blew My Freaking Mind, and I had a few like this in 2023, so I'm excited to share those with you guys. And this is like, I still remember this even if I read it at the beginning of the year. I remember the characters, I remember the plot, I remember everything. And I was very surprised with how many books fit this tier because usually I don't read this many good books, and I don't know if it's maybe just because I was going by what the top books of the year were, like I was going by the bestsellers list, or just because like I had a lot of really good books recommended to me. So I'm excited to share those with you guys. The next tier down is So Amazing. So obviously not top of top, blew my freaking mind, but still really good. And then below that is Not Bad. These would be like my solid 4-star reads. Probably wouldn't read again. Not sure if I remember it. That kind of thing. I have Meh. Meh, I definitely don't remember. And if I do, it's because it had some really weird, crazy plot line. You always have to have a Meh tier. Any of my other tier ranking videos, you'll probably see a Meh tier. Below Meh is going to be I Can Think of Better Ways to Spend My Time. And I definitely had a few like this because you spend so much time reading a book and then you get to the end, or you wait for when it gets good and you're still waiting. And that's those kind of books. My last tier, don't ever ask me to read this book ever again. And I can think of one specific book that I'm putting in that tier, and I probably made this tier for that specific book. So let's go ahead and get started with the tier ranking. All right, so I'll go ahead and start with the bottom, and that's, let's see, The Last Love Note by Emma Gray. This one was probably, I'm probably gonna put this as a, well, not bad. You know, and sometimes you look back at these books, even when you thought they were amazing, after you finished them, you look back at them and you're like, that was okay. It was okay. Things We Left Behind by Lucy Score. We're going to put that one in not bad. Definitely not bad. The Way I Am Now. This is a follow-up. This is by Amber Smith. It's a follow-up to The Way I Used to Be. And The Way I Used to Be was amazing. Obviously amazing. I'm going to put this one in not bad because, I mean, there's nothing left. There was obviously stuff that still needed to be told about Eden's story, but it wasn't enough to really get me into a book. Right Young Women by Jessica Knoll was a meh for me. Definitely a meh. And the reason for that is it was really good writing, but the storyline just didn't capture me as much as I hoped it would. It's about a serial killer, and it's based off of a true story, and if you read it, you'd know who the serial killer was. But she just kept going on about, everybody makes new stories about the serial killer, everybody makes new stories about the serial killer, but nobody makes new stories about the victims. And while I get that, she made another story about the serial killer. And even though she's not trying to glorify his actions or remember him, in making a book about the victims, you're still remembering the serial killer. So it felt kind of contradictory to me, and it was a meh. I don't really remember much of it. Fourth Wing, nope, not Fourth Wing, sorry. Iron Flame by Rebecca Yarros. That one was so amazing. Definitely so amazing for me because not as good as Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing can't beat it. But Iron Flame was a really good follow-up, and I really enjoyed it. It had a lot of twists. The Unmaking of June Farrow by Adrienne Young. That was a meh for me. It started out, I'm not gonna lie, it started out so strong. It was blowing my mind how strong it started out. And I was like, this is really interesting. This is really cool. And then it fell flat. It fell so flat. So it ended up being a meh for me, and I was really disappointed. Love Theoretically. I Can Think of Better Ways to Spend My Time. Y'all, Ali Hazelwood, it's a love-hate relationship for me with her. And the reason being is she takes the same tropes, the same characters, the same storylines, and she just makes different names, different professions, and the same big, tall man. And I am so bored with her writing. But it'll be interesting because she has another book that I read in 2023, and you'll get to see where I rank that. The Wishing Game by Meg Schaefer. This one blew my freaking mind. I absolutely adored this book. It was so good. I I can't even tell you how much I love this book. It was so nostalgic to childhood beauty and innocence, and it was so much fun. I really, really loved it. You have to go read it. Okay. The Brothers Hawthorne by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. I am going to put this one at not bad because it really wasn't so amazing, and it wasn't bad at all. It was just, good, and it was fun to see our favorite characters again. But that's about all I got for that. Things We Hide from the Light. It's a myth. Lucy Score's second book in the Knock 'Em Out series. Meh. I didn't like the main characters, and I didn't like their storyline. Hello Stranger by Catherine Sinner was so amazing. Okay. I really enjoyed the premise of this novel where she is face blind, but she has to paint a portrait. And I liked the ending of this book because it's not what you would expect the ending to be. Even though you can expect some things, you got these instances where you're like, wow, I was not expecting it to end like that, but that's still really good. And it felt true to life, if you understand what I'm saying. All right. Vera Wong's Unsolicited Advice for Murderers. This one is going into So Amazing because it was fun, and it had dark moments, but it was still really, really fun. And you're kind of like, whoa, okay, this is a fun murder mystery about this old woman solving this mystery. And I really liked it. The Connellys of County Down. Okay. This one, it's in between not bad and meh for me, because I really loved We Are the Brennans, and I liked the Connellys of County Down, but I don't remember much about it. So it's gonna go in meh. Yep, it's going in meh. That's by Tracy Lange. Stars and Smoke by Marie Lu. So amazing. I really enjoyed it. It's a spy story, and it had a lot of fun instances where you were just like, wow, this is giving you the vibes of being a spy, and I really liked it. I read all of her Legend novels when I was in high school, and that series is one of my favorite that I think back to of the ones that I read in high school. So I really, really enjoyed revisiting this author's work, and I think Stars and Smoke was a great way to do it. Happy Place by Emily Henry blew my freaking mind. I love Emily Henry. I absolutely love her. I have loved all of her books that I've read, some more than others. Happy Place, it was the top book that I've read by her. I love this book. I cannot say this enough. It was just so good. It was so great and wholesome, and it had a ton of friendship stories in it. And yeah, I just really, really loved it. Okay, Ghost 19 by Simone St. James. This one I'm going to put in not bad. It's kind of like a novella, and I really love Simone St. James, but I wanted more from it. And obviously it's a novella, so you don't get much anyway, but I wanted more from the story in general. Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros blew my freaking mind. That is not necessary to explain why it blew my mind. And if you don't know why it blew my mind, go read a review or go read the book. All right, Those We Drown. This one was a meh for me. It was really creepy and atmospheric in its story, but like I said with other novels that I've put in this category, it fell flat. It fell so flat. Like, it had so much potential, but it just didn't make it. Okay, Chaos Theory by Nick Stone. So amazing. You Could Make This Place Beautiful by Maggie Smith. It's one of the, I think it might be the only nonfiction that I read this year. I think it's the only nonfiction. No, there's another one. Okay. You Could Make This Place Beautiful. I'm going to put that in. So amazing. I really did love the self-discovery that you get from this novel and the reflection. I think it was really great, and it's almost therapeutic just to read it and see somebody else's feelings in these situations. The Collected Regrets of Clover. That one's going to go in not bad. That one's by Mickey Brammer, and I liked it. and the premise was really interesting. It just didn't blow me away. Adelaide blew my freaking mind. It was so good. It was so good. And it's basically about this girl who's too much sometimes. People think that she's too much. She's too loud. She loves too hard. It was good. I can't even get into it because I don't want to get into it too much because I don't want to spoil it. But if you want to know more about it, go read my review and definitely pick up this book by Genevieve Wheeler. It was really great. All right, Check and Mate. So this is the other Ali Hazelwood novel that I was telling you about that I read in 2023. And unlike Love Theoretically, this one is her first YA novel. It's going and blew my freaking mind because I really liked it. I really liked it. Okay, so it wasn't centered around the same tropes, and she still had the big man, big, and you didn't get the steamy scenes, which I was completely okay with. But I really liked it because you got more family in this novel, and you got more of a friendship story, and I really enjoyed that. There was more to this than just a romance, and I really enjoyed seeing Ali Hazelwood kind of branch out and do a little more with her work, and you can really tell that she's growing as an author through this novel. Okay, Georgie All Along. This one is going to go in so amazing. While I think it was really, really great, I don't think it deserves a spot in Blew My Freaking Mind. This book is by Kate Clayborn. It was still really good. I really, really liked it. Basically a novel about self-discovery. So next is Demon Copperhead by Barbara Kingsolver. This one's blew my freaking mind. It was a big book. And you would think as much as I read that I wouldn't get intimidated by big books, but I'm the type of person where I really don't like series. I don't like commitment. Series are too much of a commitment for me, and so are big books. I prefer smaller, 350 max books, but this one was probably one of the bigger ones for this year. And I really, really, really enjoyed it. So maybe that's the world trying to tell me something that maybe I should start reading bigger books. But this is basically a realistic story about this boy's journey from addiction and poverty and how he grows through that. And I really, really enjoyed it because you get so much sympathy for these characters and so much understanding for the way that some people have to live. And yeah, I think it's a really important book. Okay, Things We Never Got Over by Lucy Score. This one's going to go into so amazing. I really liked this book. I don't think it was a blow my freaking mind book, but it was really good. It's the first one in the series for Knock 'Em Out and probably the best one. Haunting Adeline. If you saw my review for this book, you know exactly where it's going. This is the book that has a dedicated tier in my tier ranking for 2023. Don't ever ask me to read this book again. Ever. Ever, ever, ever. Some people might like this. And I'm not going to judge you if you do like this. This is not for me. There was no plot. The characters were horrible and had no development. And for some reason, Adeline's chapters are called The Manipulator or something similar to that. And she doesn't manipulate anything. She's a writer, but you never see her write. And don't even get me started on Zaid. Basically, it is about this girl who gets stalked. And her stalker is someone who says that he is a hero and saves women and children from sex trafficking. And yet he stalks and rapes Adeline. And it's a romance novel. Enough said. I gotta get away from this book. Never again. Remarkably Bright Creatures by Shelby Van Pelt. This one absolutely 100% blew my freaking mind. It was so good. It was about a giant Pacific octopus who befriends an older woman who lost her son and never figured out what happened to him. And the octopus basically helps her solve the mystery. It's really good. Okay, Every Summer After by Carly Fortune. Meh. It was predictable. I didn't like it. A lot of people said that it was amazing. Not for me. A A Flicker in the Dark. We're gonna put that in not bad. That one was not bad, by Stacy Willingham. It was a good mystery, but it was kind of just like, ew. And I'm gonna be honest, probably the only reason it goes into not bad is because I'm a Louisianian and it's set in Louisiana. Killjoy, Holly Jackson. It is the novella that basically shows you how Pip gets into mystery solving. It's gonna go into amazing because, I mean, it's Pip. The Things We Leave Unfinished blew my freaking mind. This book was so good. Oh my gosh. If you want something to rip your heart out, tear your soul to pieces, and make you cry like a little baby, this is the book for you. I loved it. Enough said. Daisy Jones and the Six blew my freaking mind. I did not watch the TV show, so don't ask me if I did, but I really liked the novel, and I thought it was very revolutionary with its setup and the way that it went. It was really great because it's told in basically the format of interviews. Really cool. In 5 Years by Rebecca Searle. I'm going to be honest, I don't remember what this is about. We're going to do meh. Okay, I'm going to butcher the pronunciation for this, but this is called I Want to Die, But I Want to Eat Tiabaki. This one was really so amazing. It's basically about this woman who's going through depression, and it is a telling of her inner thoughts and basically like little mini essays about her life and her transcripts with her therapist as she works through those thoughts and her depression. It was really, really good. And it wasn't that long. I really enjoyed it. 100 Days of Sunlight by Abby Emmons. It was a meh. Yeah, it was definitely a meh because I wasn't there for me. Turtles All the Way Down by John Green. Blew my freaking mind. I loved it. It was so good, and the mental health representation was amazing in that. The Wilder Woman by Emmy Ruth Longling. It's a meh. It's a meh. I don't remember much about it except that they have powers and they're trying to find their mother, and the ending made no sense to me. You know what? Nope, it's going in. I can think of better ways to spend my time because I wish I would have not read it. So, The Words We Keep by Aaron Stewart blew my freaking mind. It was amazing. I loved it. I felt really close to this book because I have anxiety, and a lot of this book deals with mental health and has panic attack described in this book, and it was really, really good. Such a Fun Age by Kylie Reed was so amazing. I really enjoyed that book, and I enjoyed the way that it makes you think. The Lovely and the Lost, I just read this one and just finished it, by Jennifer Lynn Barnes. And the reason I read it is because she wrote The Inheritance Games. The Lovely and the Lost was so good. It's basically about these search and rescue dogs and about the people who work with the search and rescue dogs as they're trying to find a little girl who's lost in the woods. It was amazing. It was so, 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 so good. Definitely highly recommend. The Poet X, this one is going in so amazing. I really enjoyed this novel, and I think that there were a lot of relatable things in this novel, especially growing up in a religious family and trying to find where I fit in the world. This was very relatable as a novel. Archer's Voice. I can think of better ways to spend my time. Book Talk did me dirty on that one, as well as Haunting Adeline. Archer's Voice sucked. It wasn't as bad as Haunting Adeline, but it was not a good book. It felt, like my sister said, it felt like a Wattpad book, and they just published it. I didn't like it. I thought the story was very mundane and basic, and the characters really didn't have a lot of depth. That's all I'm going to say about it. Before We Were Yours by Lisa Wingate blew my freaking mind. It was amazing. It was about the Tennessee Children's Home Society scandal, and basically about these children who were stolen from their parents and adopted out as if they were orphans. It's terrifying, but really, really good book. The Way I Used to Be by Amber Smith blew my freaking mind. This is a reread, but it was so good. I love it. I love that book. I will never stop loving that book. I was scared that rereading it would make it not as great to me. It made it even better. Yep, and that's all I have to really say about that. Every Last Word. This one's going... We're going to put that in So Amazing. It's about OCD, and it's in between Blew My Freaking Mind and So Amazing, but it was really, really great. And the way that they depicted the representation, the way that they depicted the OCD it was really great. it and very accurate. Okay, The Alchemist. We're gonna put this in not bad. It was a short book, very fairy tale-esque, but I didn't enjoy it as much as I thought I would. Be With Me. Meh. Jennifer L. Armentrout. I thought I would like it more. I didn't like it. Wait for You was the first one in this quote unquote series. We're going to put that one in not bad, but it wasn't very memorable. Okay. Are You There, God? It's Me, Margaret. The last one in my tier ranking. We're going to put that in not bad. And I think it would have ranked higher had I read it as the intended audience. If I was younger when I read this, I may have liked it more, but not bad. So there you have it. That is my tier ranking of every book that I read this year. And I really, really tried to hit 52 for one a week, but I couldn't make it. I think if I would have tried harder during the holidays, I would have been able to make it, but I'm pretty proud of 50. Not gonna lie, especially with all the other things I have going on. I hope you guys had as great of a reading year as I did, because honestly, it was really great. I have double the amount of books in my Blew My Freaking Mind and So Amazing tiers than I do in all of the rest of the tiers. Like, both of those tiers together double what's in the other tiers, and that's crazy to me because I read so much and almost all of them were really good. So yeah, tell me what you thought about my tier ranking. If you think I'm totally crazy about some of the books that I tier ranked, I'm sure I'll get some of those. But also, let me know if you've read anything in 2023 or any other year that you think is a really great book and that I should read, because I'm always open to recommendations, especially if it's for really great books. If you like this video, leave a comment down below, tell me what you thought, and definitely subscribe, because I always make videos like this and I love to have people basically discussing books with me. This is like a video book club. So, but yeah, I'll see you later.